In order for you to enlighten yourself, you must spread light within yourself. This is the Think Successfully Room. It's excellent. Man, welcome back to another episode of the Think Successfully Room. This is a podcast or a platform. Let's not say podcast. This is a platform where we focus on. Welcome back to the Think Successfully Room. Look, Tiff, forget the intro. I was gonna fumble the intro. We just gonna go ahead and get into.
What is happening today?
It's something like, you know, I just got off a video call with Blackamore. I'm not sure exactly what's happening up here, but I got off a video call with Blackamore probably 45 minutes to an hour ago. Okay. And it was antibiotic. I forgot the word. We was talking about some the healthcare system, and the term antibiotic came up. I said it once and I needed to say it again, and I completely forgot it. And he had to say it in order for me to recall that term. And out of all 60, this might make 63rd episode, I never fumbled. I never forgot the intro. And you know what? Forget the intro. We just gonna go ahead and get into it.
Y'all know who he is. Y'all know who he is.
Yeah, that's crazy. We're gonna go ahead and play that one off. But yeah, the article, the school down in Florida has implemented a AI software or surveillance camera that's there to detect firearms in the school.
Yep.
But the thing is that it was an incident with a student where the AI detected a gun. The only thing is that it was a musical instrument, a clarinet.
Yeah, a clarinet.
Yeah, and it was another incident where at the same school, the AI detected a so-called gun, but it was a Doritos bag. So what's happening with this?
So, when you sent that to me and I read through it, of course, my first thing is, I take any article or just anything I find to Perplexity so I can find other articles or other media outlets that are talking about the same thing. Mm-hmm. And what's happening is you have some software that, again, all intensive purposes was designed to. So some of the supplemental articles I was reading, like schools felt pressure to do something. Like after all of these incidents that are happening in schools that are impacting and ultimately impacting children, impacting staff, they felt this great push or pressure to do something. Like the public is saying, what are you guys going to do? So a company, which it wasn't named throughout the article, they're not saying who the actual company is unless you saw it and I didn't.
No,
maybe there was some other. So that was on the hush too, because they were just saying, hey, this organization that specializes in security and safety has an AI program, right? That's how they packaged it up. And basically they released this prematurely, right? Because what I could figure out was that the software is analyzing or assessing images from a two-dimensional standpoint, as well as in a laboratory setting. So they're not playing around with the lighting. They're not simulating. So the test conditions don't truly align with the actual conditions at which this platform will be performing in, right? Yeah. So you have it in a laboratory, it's well lit. Well, you don't have it in a school where some of the areas of the school are well lit, some of it's not. And what also would sound faulty to me is they said, and I put this in air quotes, that the actual platform sends up this alert and there should be a human that says, oh, okay, that is a true threat, right? It doesn't just sound off the alarm and bypass a human. So I'm like, who was on duty? What were y'all doing? Were y'all on lunch?
That's
because how can you mistake a weapon for Clarinet.
Yeah, I ain't understand that. And then even if he was holding it like a weapon or whatever, however he was holding it, the AI still should be improved enough, or the software should be at least advanced enough to be able to distinguish a long rifle, a type of gun, or in a musical instrument. I just don't understand how that. So in other words, they included something into the school, right, that only performs at its best with a well lit area.
And that's so yes. And I would say it's more to it than that. So whatever their test regimen is, it's not a school. Like what they should have done is tested in a school. Right. Tested and piloted in a school and make the necessary corrections before you just release it out into the world and say, okay, purchase this. This is the answer to your problem. Go ahead.
So that's like releasing a prototype, right? So a prototype is just something. It's like a test, right? It's either it work or it don't. And now, we gonna use this. This is the first product, and we're gonna see what we need to improve on. I actually had an idea too, right? Not only was it, y'all shouldn't have added something that wasn't even really like on point anyway, especially when it comes to something like that. They can't even eat a bag of chips without a cold red being sent. But what should have happened was, it's like, okay, if this is a prototype, if this is a test or something, y'all are considering a surveillance camera that's AI powered, right? How about evacuating the school? Like, wait till it's a day where no students is on campus, and y'all actually have like a personnel come in, like armed police officer or whatever, to see how well the camera picks up these objects and similar objects as well. Like, I feel like multiple tests should have happened before just pulling the trigger and said, okay, this is a go.
Yeah. And so this is, remember, many, many moons ago, I think it was even 2 years ago, when we first initially had this conversation and I met you, I said, people have to do their due diligence, right? Yeah. You have to do your due diligence. And what does that mean? You have to make sure that you're taking every precaution, first of all, for the developer, to make sure that this is actually working as it's intended to. Because to have a student tackled, handcuffed, searched for a bag of Doritos, it wasn't even a weapon in his bag.
Yeah.
It was just some Doritos, because dimensionally, it looked like the Doritos could have been a weapon, right? Do you think about how triggering that is for the person going through that's experienced at that? Yeah. You're detaining them and they're being exposed to something they shouldn't even be exposed to because your equipment doesn't work. Yeah. And what was so crazy about even this article, and I'll get back to my original thought of due diligence, it was the article basically said, well, the kids shouldn't have been holding a clarinet like it was a weapon.
I was just finna, I knew you was gonna bring that. That right there kind of triggered me, because it's like, how you gonna put the blame on? Was these ninth graders? I don't think it said exactly.
I don't think it said exactly what grade they were in.
I think I know they said 16-year-old, so I would assume they was around. So yeah, somewhere 9th or 10th graders. But what triggered me is how can you put the blame on how he's holding his musical instrument?
A child.
Because
you're gonna put it on a child.
Yeah, a child, because y'all made the decision to place an AI powered surveillance camera that wasn't fully tested. So now y'all want to put the blame on them to cover up y'all mistakes.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things. So going back to the due diligence comment, the platform, the AI, the security platform that has the AI embedded in it, right? Get your testing together. Get it together, right? And it is my hope that they're making additional improvements after all of this, because there's a couple things that are happening down the line. Mm-hmm. But you have the AI developers, you have the school system, the school districts. You guys need to really, really vet these vendors, vet these platform providers well, right? Yeah. You need to ask them questions about, hey, how is your model trained? I've said this over and over again. You have to understand, it's one thing for them to create it, but you hold a sense of responsibility as the leadership team, as the folks that govern and protect the students, the faculty, everyone in there, to know how this works, how it was trained, how to get it off your system or your platform. Like, you have to know all of that. And even, hey, can we go through a test run?
Yeah.
Right? Can we go through it? To your point, can we have it on a school day where there are no students, and have, local law enforcement or people that work at the actual facility come in and simulate different things, right? So you understand that's part of the training, right? It's not enough for me to know this exists. I need to know how to coexist with it as a human, right? And I'm going to guarantee whoever was supposed to be looking at that camera and trying to decipher what that was, whether it was a Dorito bag or a clarinet, they probably didn't have the proper training to be sitting in that chair to be doing that. No. I'm not a gambling person, not like that. I play the slot machines every now and then, but I will guarantee you, because it shows it throughout the maturity of, hey, this was a mistake, right? Here's what we're going to do to fix it. No, they ultimately shifted the blame onto the child, right?
That's crazy.
Even the school district didn't say, hey, you know what? We need to look further in this and we're going to demand some improvements. No. And so I'm just like, seriously? So now you're having children, faculty, whomever, exposed to this. Now it causes distrust with AI, right?
Yeah.
If I can't trust you to protect me, I'm not trusting you at all. Like, man, I got tackled and handcuffed because
I was eating a bag of Doritos. And on top of that, it's like, they shouldn't have to be afraid to walk the hallways with a music. I mean, in high school, you got music classes, you know what I'm saying? They take up classes that consist of them using different instruments, you know what I'm saying? There's kids in there eating chips and candy. So why should they have to be on thin ice? They probably hungry. They probably had a long day, and they can't even pull out a bag of chips because y'all have installed an AI powered surveillance camera or whatever that can't even differentiate a bag of chips from a weapon. I think ultimately, if they don't, because like with me, when I seen that, okay, I read about the clarinet, but as I kept going, it was another incident with the Doritos. Y'all should have corrected that the first time, because now it seemed like if the AI sent a code red, they immediately come with guns out. And let's say the next time that happened, it's a black child. I'm not trying to make this a race thing, but it's a black child, and they not trying to hear that, and they gun them down based off a false reading that the AI did. And instead of holding yourself accountable, y'all want to place the blame on them. Well, he shouldn't have been holding it this way. No, the AI should be able to differentiate the items. Y'all making something like that. That's not something that it might take y'all a year to go through 100 different scenarios to make sure that this is 100% on point. Like, it don't matter how I turn, how I do left, right, how I hold an object. We done tested this object, that object, just about everything, and it has read 100%. Okay, this is not a weapon. This is a weapon. That's definitely wrong of them to even place the blame on the child at that point. Yeah, that's fucked up.
But it was a rush to market, right? I want to be the first to do this. I want to be the first. To be the first could be to be the last too. So when I did some research to see why this was happening, like why were these AI models doing some of the things, that I came up with were there's some technical issues on the AI side, right? That we've been talking about. Again, the cameras are analyzing things in a 2D frame instead of a 3D frame. And with 2D, anything that looks weapon-like is going to sound the alarm. The training data often lacks real world variety. So again, we're talking about the lighting. We're talking about some of the angles, if something's blurred or obscured, right? How is this AI determining this if it can't really see it fully? And then again, the human aspect. Are the people sitting in the chairs watching the video, looking at it, trained to understand that, oh man, that's really not a small handgun. That's really a doggone Dorito bag, right?
Yeah.
Where's that clear AI ends, human begins, right? But here's the thing that I found really interesting. And so the information that I read said there are structural and equity concerns. False positives are not evenly distributed. Civil liberty groups note that AI alerts often escalate into aggressive police encounters for students in already over-policed communities, compounding that harm from each misclassification, right? So if you're already in an area, like you said, we're not making this about race, but we are saying that there's information out there that this is happening in those areas. Because these systems create a visible impression of high-tech security, they can divert money and attention from the evidence-based approaches like mental health support, climate intervention, and targeted threat assessment teams. So what they're saying is that, hey, AI can get you to a faster result as it pertains to having weapons in school, right? We have this platform and it can identify it. This is what you should go to versus the long-term care thing, such as mental health, right? I think there needs to be a combination of all of the things because I don't think that issue is a one-stop shop. You're not going to fix it with a two-dimensional security system. Yeah. That's like me putting ADT in my house. Like,
that's crazy.
Like, leaving the doors open. Like, no.
Everything is 3D. Like, I mean, and my thing is now, I wanted to get this off before I forgot because, my brain been kind of skipping.
You got a brain fog today.
My shit been skipping. So yeah, my problem is now what if a threat actually came into school with a gun and the AI don't pick that up? It picked up a Dorito bag, but if they actually came into school, a real threat, and the AI don't pick that up, and now he done walked into every classroom and shot the school up because y'all AI failed to pick up what it was designed to pick up. Yeah,
they would be out of business.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, because my theory is, I feel like, okay, it can't pick up a 3D object, right? So what if they came in with a 3D object with a firearm and it didn't pick that up because it seemed like it's only designed to pick up 2D objects or however they design that. But that right there is kind of like, okay, this should be a lesson learned. Like anything that's new technology has to be tested, and I don't care how long it takes y'all to test it. You make sure it's right before you release it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they did test it. They tested it in that cute little lab with the lights on and everything, all of the conditions. So here's the thing. You know what I mean? You have to, as the consumer, listen, we're not going to know everything to ask, right?
Right.
But as these things happen, okay, I want to understand the conditions that you tested this under, right?
Yeah.
I want to understand the success rate. I want to understand the fail rate, okay?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times and a lot of entities or organizations, they hire consultants. This is why it pays for y'all, look right at the camera. This is why it pays for you to understand your consultant's credentials and understand their methodology, right? How are they going to approach this problem? Have them walk through it. Make sure you understand the plays because there are organizations out here hiring people to run the play and they're getting played.
Yeah.
Why? Because the person that you're putting all this faith in,
too much trust.
They can't lead you. They're not asking the appropriate questions. So you need to vet who you're bringing on board to help integrate these solutions. And that's what I tell people. Look, I may not be the AI transformation strategist. See, I've even changed that. I'm not an AI consultant. I'm an AI transformation strategist. Drop mic, right? Because I know the difference, right? I understand the difference. And so you have to, because the school district is the consumer too, right? They bought the platform thinking they're doing a good thing, right? Thinking that they're keeping their kids safe.
And that's like with me, you know, placing myself, if I was a principal or whoever's in charge of call those shots. I think this is a way of life too. Like I believe before you get yourself in anything, there should be some level of due diligence. I mean, like thorough due diligence. And and I mean, even if it's questions you feel like you need to be asking, you sit on that until you come up with those questions, right? Because at the end of the day, y'all got kids' life. Like when I send my child to school, I'm trusting you with my child's life. You know what I'm saying? And if I hear y'all done installed AI software that's misreading shit, I mean, shit, me being who I am, he coming up out of there, and we finna look for different alternatives. Y'all can't even put in the work behind the technology y'all is putting into y'all schools, and y'all expect me to trust y'all with my child's life. It can't happen. You know what I'm saying? Because like I just said, Tiff, is that if it's mistaking a Doritos bag for a firearm, what if a real firearm came into school? Is it gonna mistake it for a Doritos bag, or how does that work? But like you said, when it was testing, when they tested it, they only tested it in the factory or their lab, but there should have been different levels of lighting, you know what I'm saying? And trying different objects in each scenario, right? To see how well it picks up, or see, and again, success rate is a big one, right? The success rate outweigh, you know what I'm saying, the what's the term you use, the fail rate, or
success or fail rate, or what term did I use? And now my brain is what did I say? I have no idea.
But yeah, that has to be a thing, though.
It has to be a factor.
It has to outweigh the, you know what I'm saying, how many times did it succeed compared to the amount of times that it failed. You know what I'm saying? And that matters. Absolutely.
And I would say also it matters if it was tested in the appropriate environment. Don't give me a 99.9 success rate when you've been in the lab. Right? Please don't. Right? Don't do that.
Yeah.
I want you to be in these schools, different environments, different makeup or just structural makeups. Like your product should be able to work, because I'm quite sure they're not just selling it to schools, right?
You be reading my mind. I was finna ask you that. I was finna ask, like, what do you think? What was my question? I was finna ask, do you feel that would mess up their business? Because if other businesses is seeing like, oh, it ain't even working in the schools, why would I put it in my building? I was finna see your opinion on that, but no, you already brought it up.
Listen, I'm cooking today. I had enough time, but here's the thing: if schools, I know they're trying to get it into probably government municipalities. It's money in the government.
Yeah.
Okay. So of course they're not saying openly who this. And again, I researched, and it was like full of teeth. Now I didn't look at every single article because I think CNN talked about it, but I couldn't pull it. And it's partly because, again, they don't want to damage their reputation. If I could get this product in the DOD or my local municipalities and all these other things, of course, because right now, even where we live, the city of Rockford, you walk in there, there's the metal detector there are 2 guards there. And I mean, what if we had this AI software, security software that we could put in our buildings and keep our employees and the security guards safe, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's a big play, but here's also the flip side to that. If I go down to City Hall and I have a Dorito bag in my purse, and I get tackled, and you handcuff me and you detain me, this company has to think, and if they're not thinking, they should be. I need to get it together because I'm one lawsuit away from not being in business anymore.
Facts.
Right.
All it's gonna take is somebody to get hurt. That's it.
Well, even the child that got tackled and detained by the police, right, for the Dorito bag.
Yeah.
If I was their parent, I would look into, okay, are there some legal liabilities there?
Yeah.
Because I'm quite sure that child is traumatized.
I can see that.
Especially. You know what I mean? Like, there's negligence here. There's a negligence here. And again, I'm not always out for money, sue. But listen, how are you going to hold these institutions or these platforms, these organizations accountable when, again, it's just blame shifting? Now, they could have settled out of court for a small fee. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when we're looking at AI, and this is the evolution, right? Back in 2023, I wasn't talking like this. I was like, oh, I'm using AI to answer emails, to cut time and do this and that. People have now shifted. Those that have leaned in, they're adding it to their infrastructure. This platform was a part of their security infrastructure and is failing.
Yeah, that is detrimental right there. That is kind of like, as a parent, like I said, if I knew y'all security system was failing, there's no way I would feel safe leaving my child in y'all hands. You know what I'm saying? Especially if I got to worry about them coming home or getting a phone call saying a mob of police officers then tackled them because they thought he had a gun in his book bag when he got Dorito crumbs around his lips.
Oh my God.
Man, that's ridiculous. When I seen that, I'm like, man, let me send this to Tiff. This right here is ridiculous. And I like I'm always up for, okay, let's make the schools more safe, right? But there got to be a right way to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be trying to, I'm trying to be the first to do it, but then you don't even test the system. You done hung up, or that's there to protect your school. Y'all ain't even really tested for real. You know what I'm saying? So now I feel like every child in there is thinking now, like, okay, I don't want that to be me. Let me not do this, not let me do that. And then now we have whole adults that can't even hold themselves accountable for their mistake in putting this software in the schools. And it's much easier for them to put the blame on the kids. And I think
that's unfortunate. That all around spoke to.
It is unfortunate. He can't even. I mean, a clarinet ain't finna fit in his book bag. Like, how he supposed to? You know what I'm saying? I don't really know exactly how long a clarinet is, but I'm saying, like, most kids, they gon' carry that. You know what I'm saying? So now we finna sit here and try to dictate how he's holding his instrument. And that's just an unfortunate thing. And I think, and I believe the business kind of might have messed up their opportunity to work with other companies as well, because I wouldn't want to put that in my building if it wasn't really tested for real and just making those type of mistakes. So, man, I appreciate you for that conversation, Tiff. That was I feel like that was needed, because that's one of them things where you probably not gonna run into unless you searching for AI for real, or the latest news in AI. And I feel like that was needed, you know what I'm saying? To let y'all know that, everything isn't perfect with AI. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, these things has to be tested, and they make mistakes. Even the tools we use today make mistakes, and we have to, that's why we have to go behind it. Like how you said, there has to be some type of human oversight. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all knew y'all had implemented something that wasn't 100% there yet, right? Okay, if the AI detects something, that AI should be sending it through a human first. A human, okay, no, that's a Dorito bag. I'm not going to hit the code red, or we're not going to send no alert because that looked like a Dorito bag. Obviously, these actions will happen rapidly, right?
Yeah.
But still though, like y'all are putting the entire security in the AI hands. Dorito bags cold red. Ain't no human see that.
No. Well, what they had said, like in another article, was like there was a human checkpoint, and it's like they agreed, and I'm like, well, how did they agree, right? And so I immediately go to, because again, my brain goes to my human resource background, like, and working in some of these organizations, they didn't train them. They didn't train them to effectively really understand. A lot of times these things are put in place, and it's training after the fact. Like you learn on the job, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that that's unfortunate, because now going back, the blame gets shifted to them. Well, you looked at it. Well, y'all, you like, look, you know that you only provided me with 20 minutes of training, right?
Yeah.
Or you have somebody in that position that doesn't have the skill set to do it. So there's too many variables. And this is again why, I've shifted the conversation to, you have to have an AI strategy. If you're using AI in your organization, in your life, you have to have a strategy behind it. What are you using it for?
Facts.
When do you know to cut it off, right? At the very least, because some people are just like, well, it's just me. Even being a solopreneur, it's like, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? AI leaks all of my business that I've shared with it to whomever. Okay, how am I going to combat that, right? When I start hiring people, what are the permission levels? What's the training that they're going to need? What access, well, again, permission access levels are they going to need? Because even AI doesn't need access to your entire business, right? I get prompted every day by ChatGPT, hey, you can connect this. There's a million things I could connect behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I don't need to connect all that stuff.
Right.
Only thing you need access to is possibly my calendar, my other Outlook calendar, and a few other things. You don't need access to anything else, right? Because it's not applicable in my business.
Facts.
So these businesses, organizations have to look at, especially municipalities and schools, right? Okay, what is our problem? Number one, right? What's our problem? All right, got it. It's potential violence in schools. All right, next thing. How are we going to solve that? Well, we can look for better security. We can look to see what's happening in our industry and what other folks are doing. That's how I would put that. That's when you do your research, right? Okay. Then you have to say, okay, based on my research, are we ready from an organizational standpoint? Like, hold the mirror up to yourself as a company, not what you wish to be, but what you are today, and say, okay, as it pertains to the skill set in our organization, do we have the appropriate skill set to, again, do this? If not, what training is needed? The infrastructure. Do we have the appropriate infrastructure? Like, does our IT team, are they up to stuff? Do we have somebody in cybersecurity? Like, or whatever security, whatever IT portion you need, or whatever infrastructure you need in your organization. Right? So the readiness, infrastructure. Now, what's the strategy? Now we know what we need. We know the problem. We know what we need to do. We know the skill set. We know all the things. We know if we're weak. We've completed a SWOT analysis on ourselves in that particular manner. If you want to do that, whatever assessment tool you use, you know where you stand and where you need to go. What's the strategy? How is it tying back to the number one problem of protecting your students in the school, right? And then you're going to look at the compliance piece, the compliance and the culture piece in your organization. So what are the compliance things we need to be made aware of? What are the compliance things we have to make sure we need to follow? And how is our environment, to include the students, faculty, parents, going to feel about this? You got to do all these things. Did I lose you?
What the fuck, man?
Okay, y'all. I don't know. Well, like I was saying, people, where did Q go?